The car market didn't just cool off, it exploded. Right now, while you're watching this, over 4.2 million brand new vehicles are sitting unsold on dealer lots across America. That's not a typo. Millions of cars collecting dust for months, in some cases nearly a year, while dealers bleed money at a pace of $200 million per day in interest alone. This isn't just a correction. This isn't just a little dip after the pandemic. What we're witnessing is nothing short of the biggest collapse in automotive history. A $2.8 trillion industry, yes, trillion, is unraveling right in front of us. And here's the terrifying part. It's not just dealerships that are going bankrupt. It's not just manufacturers shutting down plants. This collapse is about to crush everyday car owners too. Families who have no idea they're about to wake up thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars underwater on vehicles they thought were safe investments. So buckle up, because in this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the truth behind this crash. From dealers drowning in unsold inventory, to car values collapsing faster than anyone predicted, to an entire generation rejecting car ownership outright, we're going to break down why this isn't just the end of the car market as we know it. It's the end of car ownership as the American dream. Picture this. Every parking space in Manhattan, every single one, filled with cars. Then multiply that number by 47. That's how many unsold vehicles are currently clogging dealer lots across the United States. We're not talking about cars waiting a few extra weeks for buyers. The average days on lot has skyrocketed to 127, with some cars sitting 300 days or more without a single serious buyer. Cars that 2 years ago would have been gone in a day, like a Honda Civic, are now gathering dust for half a year or longer. Why does this matter? Because dealerships don't own those cars free and clear. Every single one of them is financed through what's called a floor plan loan. Think of it like a massive credit card for dealers. Each day those cars sit unsold, the dealer racks up interest. And at an average of $47 per day per vehicle, that bill adds up fast. Multiply that across the entire market, 4.2 million cars, and you're staring at a staggering $200 million bleeding out of dealer accounts every single day. For perspective, that's enough to build 2 brand new NFL stadiums every 24 hours, just in interest payments. This unsold inventory is the first domino in what insiders are calling the Great Automotive Reset. And it's not just killing profits, it's killing businesses. Meet Sarah, a dealer from Ohio with 20 years in the business. She thought she'd seen it all: recessions, recalls, even the 2008 financial crash. But nothing prepared her for this. "I've got $3.2 million in inventory that nobody wants," she told me. "My floor plan interest is $4,800 per day. I'm not selling cars anymore. I'm managing a financial disaster that gets worse every morning I unlock the doors." And Sarah isn't alone. A Ford dealer in Texas revealed he's got 247 vehicles sitting on his lot, racking up $11,639 in interest every single day. That's $347,000 per month just to keep unsold cars parked. And here's the kicker. He hasn't made a profit in 8 months. His credit line is maxed out. He's out of options. Some dealers are quietly preparing bankruptcy paperwork because the math just doesn't work anymore. Imagine waking up every day knowing you're paying thousands of dollars in interest for cars that no one even wants to test drive. And while that sounds catastrophic for dealers, the real nightmare is just beginning. Because what's happening on those lots is about to spill over into the lives of millions of regular people who have no idea what's coming. Here's where the disaster snowballs. It's not just dealers staring at empty showrooms and full parking lots. The collapse is sending shockwaves through the entire automotive ecosystem. Think about this. When cars don't sell, transport companies don't move vehicles. Auto detailers don't prep them for delivery. Even car washes, yes, car washes, are reporting revenue drops of 30% because the cars just aren't moving. Wholesale auctions? Frozen solid. A manager in California admitted that they used to move 2,000 vehicles a week through their lanes. Last week, 340. Dealers aren't buying because they can't sell what they already have. That means the entire wholesale pipeline is collapsing. And then there's the manufacturers. GM, Ford, Stellantis, they've started shutting down production lines because the cars they're building have nowhere to go. GM just announced closures at 6 facilities, Ford cut shifts at 4 plants, and Stellantis is offering buyouts to 33,000 workers. This isn't just a slowdown. This is an entire supply chain grinding to a halt. From transporters to assembly line workers, the collapse is choking every link in the chain. But maybe you're thinking, okay, economy cars piling up makes sense. People are broke. But surely luxury cars are still moving, right? Wrong. And this part should scare you even more. For years, luxury cars were untouchable. You wanted a Mercedes-AMG, a BMW M, or a top-tier Lexus? You were put on a waiting list. Some buyers waited months just for the chance to overpay. Not anymore. Dealers are now desperate to offload luxury stock. One Mercedes dealer in Florida confessed he has a $180,000 AMG that's been sitting for 247 days. His daily interest cost on that one car alone, $11,639. Let that sink in. He's literally paying more to store a single vehicle than many Americans make in an entire year. It's not just one dealer either. Across the board, luxury brands are doing something they swore they'd never do. Huge discounts. We're seeing $25,000 off luxury SUVs, 0% financing on high-end sedans, and lease deals so bad for the dealer they lose money on every single transaction. And yet, customers are still walking away. That's the psychological tipping point. When luxury brands start acting desperate, it signals to consumers that the whole system is broken. If the supposedly aspirational cars are being fire-sold like used appliances, why would buyers trust the market at all? It's proof that the collapse isn't isolated. It's not just base model sedans or overpriced pickups. The entire pyramid is cracking, from the bottom rungs to the top. But as bad as it looks for luxury brands, at least those buyers often have the option to wait it out. Everyday car owners, they're the ones about to be crushed under the next wave, a tsunami of negative equity that nobody saw coming. Here's where the collapse leaves the dealer lot and hits you, the everyday car owner. Over the past 18 months, used car values have cratered by 23%. And at the wholesale level, the drop is even worse, 35%. That means the car sitting in your driveway right now is worth thousands less than you think. Take the 2021 Chevy Silverado as an example. Just last year, one of these trucks sold for $45,000 at auction. Today, that same truck is fetching only $29,000. That's $16,000 in value gone overnight. Now, here's the problem. Retail prices, the sticker prices you see on dealer lots, haven't caught up yet. Dealers are still asking $38,000 for that Silverado, even though they know at auction it's barely worth $29,000. It's a fantasy economy, and it's about to come crashing into reality. And when it does, millions of Americans are going to discover they're buried in negative equity. That's when you owe more on your loan than your vehicle is worth. Imagine buying a truck for $65,000 with just $5,000 down. A year later, you owe around $55,000 on the loan. But in today's market, that same truck might be worth $38,000 at best. That's a $17,000 hole you didn't dig, but you're stuck in it. This isn't a slow burn, it's a financial avalanche. Families are waking up to find themselves trapped in loans they'll never escape. And what happens when desperate owners try to trade in those vehicles? That's where the real cruelty begins. Here's how the trap is set. A customer walks into a dealership desperate to get out of their loan. They owe $45,000 on a truck, hoping the dealer can bail them out. The appraisal comes back $28,000. Just like that, they're staring at $17,000 in negative equity. Trading in becomes impossible. Selling privately? Forget it. Buyers know the market is collapsing and won't touch it for anywhere near the loan balance. So what do dealers do? They take advantage. They lean in and sell you the illusion of security. Extended warranties, maintenance packages, add-ons you don't need but feel pressured to buy because you know you're stuck keeping that vehicle far longer than you planned. One sales manager in Michigan admitted it bluntly. Customer comes in owing $45,000 on their truck. We appraise it at $28,000. They can't afford the negative equity, so they're stuck. Then we sell them extended warranties and service packages because they know they'll be driving that truck forever. It's financial entrapment disguised as customer service. And the worst part? Customers don't see it coming. They think they're making the best of a bad situation. But in reality, they're being locked into contracts that bleed them even more. This is why so many families feel like they've been financially mugged by the car market. The dream of ownership has flipped into a nightmare. And it's only going to get worse when you see what's happening behind the scenes in the lending market. If you think being stuck in negative equity is bad, wait until you see what's happening in the lending market. Because the car crash isn't just on the lots, it's inside the banks. 2 years ago, 85% of auto loan applications were approved. Today, that number has fallen to just 62%. And even when customers do get approved, the terms are brutal. For prime borrowers, people with good credit, interest rates have exploded from around 4% to nearly 10%. And if you're subprime, some are being quoted as high as 25% interest. That's not financing, that's a financial death sentence. One finance manager at a major dealership admitted, "I'm seeing customers with 720 credit scores getting quoted 12% interest. 2 years ago, those same buyers would have been at 2.9%. The lending market has completely frozen. But here's the kicker. Lenders aren't just charging more. They're flat out rejecting loans. Why? Because they know the vehicles are losing value faster than the ink dries on the paperwork. No bank wants to be stuck with a $50,000 loan on a truck that might be worth $35,000 next year. And when buyers can't get approved, sales die. Financing used to make up 40% of dealer profits. Now it's down to 15%. Dealers aren't just losing car sales, they're losing their most profitable revenue stream. Meanwhile, repossessions are surging, up 47% year over year, and it's not old junkers getting hauled away. Repo companies are picking up nearly new 2021 and 2022 models because owners simply walk away once they realize their car is worth $15,000 less than they owe. This lending freeze is the silent killer, because when financing dries up, the entire car market suffocates. And the fallout doesn't stop with loans. It's already bleeding into insurance. Here's the nightmare scenario for anyone still making payments on a car. You total it. Normally, insurance cuts a check for the vehicle's value and you move on. But in today's market, that check doesn't even come close to covering the loan balance. Say you owe $40,000 on your vehicle. You get into an accident and the insurance company says the car's worth only $25,000. Congratulations. You're stuck paying $15,000 for a car that's now sitting in a salvage yard. That's why GAP insurance demand is exploding. People are realizing too late that without it, one accident can ruin them financially. An insurance adjuster put it bluntly. I'm seeing total loss claims where the customer owes $40,000, but the car's worth $25,000. Without GAP, they're on the hook for the difference. It's devastating. And as defaults climb, credit scores are getting hammered. Counselors are seeing clients lose 150 points or more because of auto loan defaults. These aren't reckless spenders. They're working families who got trapped in negative equity and impossible payment terms. Repos, insurance shortfalls, wrecked credit scores, it's a vicious cycle. And every single piece of it feeds back into the collapse. Because the more people default, the more cars hit the auction block. The more cars flood the auction, the faster values sink. And the deeper values sink, the tighter lenders squeeze. It's a financial death spiral. And while consumers and dealers are being gutted, the manufacturers, the giants of the industry, are facing their own apocalypse. The pain doesn't stop at dealerships or car owners. It's hammering the automakers themselves, the giants that once seemed untouchable. General Motors just announced the closure of 6 manufacturing facilities, cutting 18,000 jobs. Ford is scaling back at 8 plants and offering buyouts to 25,000 workers. Stellantis has shut down its Belvidere assembly plant indefinitely, tossing 1,200 employees onto the unemployment line. But here's the truth the press releases don't tell you. These aren't temporary slowdowns, these are permanent capacity reductions. Automakers are finally admitting what they've known for months. They've been building cars for a market that no longer exists. A GM plant manager in Michigan confessed, "We built 2,400 trucks last month. Dealers ordered 800. We're manufacturing vehicles nobody wants, storing them in overflow lots, and paying interest on inventory that may never sell. The math doesn't work anymore." Those overflow lots? They're a grim sight. Thousands of brand new cars sitting in fields, deteriorating under the sun while manufacturers pay to store and insure them. Some have sat so long, they'll need reconditioning before they can even be sold. And the EV gamble, the so-called future of the industry, is only making things worse. Ford lost $4.7 billion on its EV program last year. GM's Ultium platform vehicles are sitting unsold for months. Even Tesla, the market leader, has slashed prices to move metal. Meanwhile, foreign automakers like Hyundai, Kia, and especially Chinese manufacturers are gaining ground with cheaper, simpler cars that people can actually afford. While American companies chased profits on luxury trucks and EVs, their rivals swooped in to dominate the affordable segments they abandoned. This isn't just a downturn, it's an existential crisis. And it's not even the biggest threat the industry faces. That title belongs to a force no bailout can fix. An entire generation that simply doesn't want cars anymore. Here's the final nail in the coffin. Americans, especially younger generations, are rejecting car ownership outright. This isn't just about waiting a little longer to buy a car. It's a cultural reset. Under 30 buyers consistently rank car ownership as their lowest financial priority. Why drop $700 a month on a depreciating hunk of metal when that money could go towards student loans, retirement savings, or even experiences like travel and dining? And it's not just financial. Remote work eliminated daily commutes for millions. Cities are actively discouraging cars with new bike lanes, pedestrian zones, and public transit investments. Add in rideshare apps, subscription services, and environmental concerns, and suddenly car ownership doesn't look like freedom, it looks like a burden. One financial advisor put it perfectly. "My clients under 30 see cars as a necessary evil, not a goal. They'd rather spend on anything else." The implications are staggering. Industry analysts now predict that within 18 months, 30 to 40% of US dealerships will shut down permanently. These aren't just small-town mom-and-pop stores. We're talking major metro franchises with decades of history. And the survivors? They won't look like the massive car lots we're used to. Instead, they'll shrink into smaller showrooms focused on custom orders and service. The days of walking onto a lot and driving away the same day? Gone forever. What's emerging isn't just a new car market, it's the end of the old one. The century-long dream of car ownership as a cornerstone of American life is crumbling, and what takes its place will look nothing like the industry we grew up with. So let's step back for a second. We've got 4.2 million unsold cars sitting on lots across America, dealers hemorrhaging $200 million per day in interest, manufacturers shutting down plants and laying off tens of thousands, banks pulling back on lending, repos surging, credit scores collapsing, and an entire generation saying, "No thanks, we don't even want cars anymore." This isn't just a market correction. This isn't a little bump in the road. This is the complete unraveling of a $2.8 trillion industry that has defined American life for over a century. And here's the reality you need to face. Car values will continue to fall. If you own a vehicle right now, understand that it's going to keep losing value faster than you expect. If you're thinking about buying one, wait. Prices aren't at the bottom yet, not even close. But here's the good news. Not every car is a disaster. Some models have proven they can withstand chaos. They hold their value, they last longer, and they cost less to keep on the road. If you want to know which ones actually survived the storm, I've got you covered. Check out my video on the most reliable cars you can buy today. It's your roadmap to avoiding the traps we just talked about and protecting your wallet from the automotive apocalypse. Because let's be honest, the car industry as we know it is dying. But that doesn't mean your financial future has to die with it. The only question is, will you be prepared for what comes next? Don't wait until it's too late. Click over to that video now, and let's make sure you're on the right side of this collapse.